and sacrifice the other.
I mean, K1 said that he did it for Artezi.
Artezi.
Will he defeat Artezi today, or will he sympathize?
There's going to be emotions that both of these teams are going to need to control, and I think sympathy is needs to be dialed back to 0. They need to become bloodthirsty. And Beast Coast in the lower bracket, that's what they are. They are the Grim Reapers of the lower bracket.
Yep, they were the Grim Reapers of the lower bracket in the. What was it, the Animajor? Wait, it was Beast Coast that they were the Grim Reaper at the previous major, the Arlington major.
They did eliminate Fnatic and Virtus Pro, securing EG's spot at TI via DPC points.
Yeah.
And that double sucked for Virtus Pro as well, because they were so close to making it TI. Fnatic beat them by half a point, I believe. That was the calculation towards the end, so that's gotta hurt for
for Artezi. Betrayal between this is a very
For
Artezi. But it
easy.
is what it feels like, because we got the Americas. You know, of course, since 2017 they've been separated, but still very closely related, of course.
And the thing is EG going to be in group stage form today? Yesterday they did look a little off. I think Thunder Awaken played incredibly, but I think EG were a little bit different than the EG we were used to seeing, simply because in all of the group stage, it felt like there was heavy emphasis on securing Nightfall's lane, and he would just completely stomp the enemy carry. Whereas yesterday, the last 2 games that they played, they just went for these really, they went for this like off, I don't even know what I would describe it as, off the pattern type of like and Nightfalls, so they could bring it back today, who knows.
They could indeed, also now with DCRG quick. Do I have to shave my head?
Silence is
because that's how I think someone who shaved yesterday in Fnatic.
And win.
And win. Well. So we'll see what the meta is regarding that for sure once they get on their camps. Today, we already mentioned it earlier, today is going to be a big impact for AY and coaches in general. I want to talk a little bit about the coaches, because it's so important to have a good coach, a lot of experience that can guide you through all the madness, especially I would imagine Lacoste during group stage.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the coaches that comes to my mind when we talk about trying to break the game, trying to find something in the game where, like, it's just gonna feel very OP at this time. Like, he did bring a lot of work ethics to Tundra as a team. They're very hardworking people, and just having a coach that can like play and always
power corrupts.
Exactly.
The cool thing about Howie is he just looks at ideas for like what the idea is rather than where it's coming from. So like for example, I showed him recently a card camp pull that you can do on Radiant, and like we like broke it down together. It's like, terrible, Jenkins, and he's still like looking at the stuff that I'm showing him, and because it could help him, and he does the same thing.
Fears nothing.
Like low MMR, but people stand hero, people figure things out in the game, and it's broken. It doesn't matter what MMR you are. It's something that they can do. And Tundra has the boots thing on 33, using boots to get super trumpets, selling the boots to play swords. That's the sort of stuff that this team innovates with in a lot of ways.
And the thing about Ali is he likes to break it down to essence instead of just, for him to translate his ideas become very technical. I remember him talking about lane theory a long time ago before this but he just talked about it and realizing, and he just made everything so individual and specific, and made it sound like it came out of the textbook. So to me, I just call AUI a Dota encyclopedia. That's really what he feels like sometimes. He's a great addition to the team. But all of the coaches that we just saw on that graphic are all incredible. They're all so incredible. And the teams that literally come into TI with a coach, of course,
Watch them flee.
you can kind of see that impact as it comes down to the stage. We thought last year
Tempt my blade, why don't you?
There it is! It is the horn, and that means
Hitting my
that
stride.
will soon be upon us. First will be upon us. It's time for the players.
Give way. Wise, free my footfalls. strike a nerve.
They're very
Power corrupts.
It is.
Fire Osh Boss. Havoc reigns. I will find them. Osh for Asham. I will not be stopped.
Team Tundra Esports coming first in their group, and they have chosen their opponents today, and they are looking for revenge. That's right, there is so much revenge to have.
Yeah, so this is really interesting because a lot of people may look at it as why are they picking OG? Didn't OG have a fantastic year winning LAN event, lasers, but that's not the case for Tundra. If you guys recall, Tundra topped their group, they got knocked out in the lower bracket finals by OG. So there's definitely a little bit of salt there. And in terms of the DPC performances, in all 3 tours, Tundra actually have the advantage over OG. So OG beat them 2-0, I believe, in Tour 2, but in Tour 1 and Tour 3, Tundra 2-0'd OG when they were in major winning form. So, I mean, Tundra are out for blood here. They're out for revenge.
And also one thing to note, it's like Skeeter during the DPC, he talked about Tundra on land acting like a bunch of heralds. These are his words, but you know, they had some really good results. They got second at the Barland, they got third at the Stockholm Major, but still, like right now, I want to see how this is going to influence them. Like the first game, if they manage to win the first game here against the OG, I think that's going to give them a big boost of confidence.
The thing about Tundra is when they're on and when they are playing well, they're one of the funnest teams to watch because they are so innovative with the ideas that they bring. He always has something cooking in terms of hero picks and how he plays the maps. You always see him hiding in some tree line, trying to make a play, cutting some waves.
Oh, yeah.
One time I saw him drag 3 waves on Bristleback, minute 10, and just like get a radiance so quickly. It's very, very interesting how he plays. And of course, when you talk about Tundra, you have to talk about Nine, the unusual hero player.
Yeah, he just plays weird stuff. Like, the thing with this team is even when they're like not performing, which, you know, like first half of Tour 2, I think they underperformed and then they ended up bringing it back in the second half. People still look at them for what they're doing because every other pro player is just like, okay, well, this team maybe as a team, they're having some issues, but they still innovate, you know. You still want to copy the Earth Spirit mid and the buying boots and going to the secret shop and buying a quelling blade on a support and cutting these trees to get wraparound plays. Like, yeah, they're just such an innovative, smart team.
But also, Tundra is buffed right now because I don't know if you guys realize the pattern, but every time a new patch comes out, that's when Tundra plays best. For the last year, for the last year and a half, they were always on top of the new patches. And yes, maybe this patch before TI wasn't that enormous, but it was still enough to give Tundra that advantage just based on the Dota mines that they have that we talked about in AUI, in 33. So I'm sure this is going to be a really good series.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about OG. Of course, the opponents of Team Tundra today, OG has done very well this season, but they haven't done so always with the same roster. Oh, they didn't change their roster. That wasn't the problem. They had some visa issues, but it's been a while since they've been with the full 5.
Yeah, I mean, they did attend every single LAN this year, getting the experience for the players. These are new, young players, so definitely what they needed to be able to compete with the others. And for them, it felt like they just did it so quickly. Usually it takes time, but for them, they just gel together so quickly. And yeah, you can tell, even without having a full squad, they're so good at adjusting to what they have, playing with Seb and Chu, and just still being able to dominate.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic series for sure, and a fantastic draft coming your way right now.
Hey, hello. Good morning.
OG versus Tundra Esports. Game 1.
That's right, the two Western powerhouses of OG and Tundra are both matching up against each other here. And while they may be coming from the same region, we've got two very different styles, right, Quinn?
Yeah, I think OG's a team that picks very much spellcasting heroes. They pick the stuff they like. They're a very specific drafting team, whereas OG are like Tundra are the biggest like lane fiend nerds. Pull this wave, drag that, buy that.
Yeah.
They're like Giga if you can try hard about it.
I think these are two teams. If you're not studying the itemization that these players have done over the last year, you're not studying the itemization of Dota right now. I mean, you talk about the masterminds behind these teams too, Aoi, Seb, Ju, like these guys are the itemization kings of Dota in my opinion. You look at what Tundra brings to the table, you look at what OG brings to the table, they play around with their timings, they play around all 5 of them coming online at the same time, hitting the power spike, ending that game, and drilling it into your Aegis. You have to be ready for this matchup.
Now the draft is going to be coming in soon, but what is your guys' early anticipation? Any standout?
Doom potentially that we see more priority on than usual.
Yeah. All right, well, we are. It's going to be coming out soon, but I mean, just talking about the story between these two teams before we see the bans, these are two teams who have gone back and forth all season long. We heard Effie talk about their history. I think one of the interesting notes is that the only time they matched up against LAN was the Stockholm Major. They matched up against each other in groups, and that Tundra did manage to get a 2-0 there.
Yeah, the land didn't go exactly that way either, right? I think this OG squad, maybe it's the organization, maybe it's the players, it's probably a combination of both. It feels like they are always somehow the underdogs. Every year they come in, they have more rings, more LAN wins. This team has multiple, they have a major win this year, and somehow they're still the underdogs. I don't get it. I don't know how they do it.
They trick people, you know? They trick people into thinking, oh, look at that, OG. They're like, okay, yeah, you like that Crystal Maiden? We'll take it for ourselves. First pick.
That's the way to do it.
This first phase is actually ridiculous. These bans, like, if you looked at it from any other series, you would have felt like they random all the bans. But these teams specifically just don't care about the meta. There's just a hoodwink first phase ban at TA. There's a bottom. I don't know. It's crazy.
These two are two teams who definitely have been trying to set their own meta, especially in the first phase. I mean, the two most contested or prioritized supports for these two teams is
Gork.
it can be a weird hero for them, because I like to think of Tundra.
Definitely not, definitely not.
5-man ball team behind 33's hero, right?
Yeah.
33's on an initiator like a Doom or something like that. They play that way, but
In bus
generally
speed.
he's on
Well, that's a weird pick. I mean, it's a very weird start to drafts compared to what we've seen so far. These guys have their own meta. No Marcy. Marcy completely untouched. No Enigma, no Primal, no Undying. None of the meta heroes that we usually see. I'm Joshua, thank you for the Prime, bro.
Have you tried Shake Shack or Jollibee while in Singapore?
Shake Shack or Jollibee? No, not yet. I don't have them close. Moonbeam Kappa, 5 gifted subs. Thank you, Moonbeam.
Moonbeam Kappa, thanks.
I'm that sleep. That's like 12, woke up 9. Proud noob, that's 90 months. I'm a little bit rinsed right now because I took a tiny bit of melatonin too. Did let me sleep up, but it usually fucks you over the next morning.
They love this long range spell damage. This, you know, crystal.
Yo, Nubbin Cup 6 to 6 months.
So they're gonna pick much more poking, maybe see dark willows or things like that later.
Better check those headsets. Yeah. Sometimes they fuck up. I heard there's something at Reddit. Yo, Seiko, thank you.
One of the ultimate poke heroes in the fight. You can get a bit tankier now in the meta. You build a 4-staff, you build a drum, you have these fluffy hats built in. It's only your 1700 HP. You combine that with a raid pact or a pipe that comes out from your offlaner, and suddenly you have to
Jesus, what is this this. This is controversial as fuck, actually. Look at this place. Check out this Reddit thing.
To kill her, and all of a sudden it's really annoying.
She pops her ultimate, gets all
I
that
hope
armor,
Thunder
makes
with
herself a
LFG.
target. You have to go in.
Aster has reported some of the soundproof problems with PGL. However, there have been no feedback so far. At worst, Aster's tried to learn keywords like smoke or ocean. Wow, so the production is fucking up, so you can't hear.
It's a pretty interesting dynamic.
The shit. X-Nova, it felt difficult to play alone on stage today, but hearing the crowd shout my name for the first time made me emotional. So another one I forget. Thanks for everyone kind words. Oh, that's cute.
5 heroes with spells, and nobody is,
Entity Fisherman threw his headset and paused the game. He did not do it intentionally or pause the game.
Is a team that will check all the boxes by one drum, one fail, one wraith pack. We go to one AC. We go down the line, and we have all the items, and we sort of play in this ball and play very structured. We hit the guy that's closest to us. We don't move too far out. I think.
Yeah. He threw the headset. So it was a headset F9. I mean, I figured, guys. See, everybody got so mad, and I wanted to hang him for what he did, just BM pausing. But I had a feeling there's no way he did. Valve owes the community with an explanation during this year's TI. Oh boy. Compromised matches, huh? X-Sync, we can hear, but we don't understand. We are noob. My blood pressure got high. Soundproof headphones make me sick. I don't understand what did they say. I can hear it. Oh god, that's crazy. GG vs Fnatic winner. You can hear everything. Smoke, runes, ganks, Roche. EU advantage, guys. What can you do? And NA, of course.
OG is fully aware of what they're leaving in the pool right now, and they have to be thinking about it.
Apparently, there's a drama that he paused. I mean, guys, I told you guys. No way. Most iconic legendary Giga Chat status photos of this year's TI.
Which are, two of the biggest anti-zoo.
T11 is double-sided rotating boosts. Is how they're able to cut down the time between series for Team Chen. Oh. T11 has double-sided boosts. Is how they're able to cut down the time between series. Wow, that's really cool.
Your turn to ban.
Holy shit. That's how they do it so fast. That's fucking 5-head as fuck.
5 seconds remaining.
You don't have to worry about all this garbage. You just pick a well-rounded lineup that works for you.
Gotcha. Fishman pause player perspective.
Now, do you guys think that Tundra, is it possible that they swerve at all, or do they stick with what they're strongest with and just
What's
say,
the player
okay,
perspective
you guys are
say?
Try and beat it, but you see it coming, but we're gonna run with it. I feel like
He
Tundra's
voice
that
line
kind
too. It looks so bad when he voice lines too. Jesus.
Typically stay straight on the road, follow the traffic lines,
Spoiler announcements retirement from Pro Dota.
Your turn to pick.
Dominus. Really?
Most certainly.
No
I'm trying to
way.
think of what OG wants in second because these bans, again, we're talking about they don't have to ban the zoo. They're opting to ban Ursa.
Okay, they banned a lot of heroes.
Very specific carry matchups. It's also
26? Oh, come on. Don't be a bitch. What the fuck?
a pretty small hero pool.
Maybe has good reason, but fuck
5
me, man.
seconds
For retiring at
remaining.
26, bro, I'm 28. It's too early, bro. He's young. Sorry, I didn't mean to say don't be a bitch. 26? Bro, Puppy's 32.
Which might be why we're seeing
6 years.
Verona come out earlier. Maybe Tundra is going to be the one to swerve and just say, we're just going to take the fight to you. I think they still want this
I'm old.
packed hero.
Yes, I'm old.
There's no Doom in the pool.
26 for 28 for now. I'm 29 soon, boys.
Yeah, that does look like a Tusk mid.
That's what I'm feeling. If I see Tusk
Holy
on
moly,
Tundra,
dude.
I'd be like,
His wife and kid, maybe that's why.
No matter what. You know, he's just, even if he's not
SMH.
supposed to play, he's just going to click it first.
Oh, Tusk, Mirana, Tiny. Is Skeeter looking at... is OG looking at Naga now?
Netta is playing bottom.
Yeah. So
maybe. Or that
It might be a Mirana offlane. It's weird. I think these guys have their own meta against each other. I don't think Thunder are gonna play normal heroes against them because they are like... I don't think they're... what do I say?
Jig all day.
I appear unto the world, athwart my path.
Prepare for battle.
Wise, flee my footfalls. Watch them flee.
It's in the bag!
Give way.
Are you guys gonna keep playing without the boot in TI?
On the move.
Yo, celery.
I run afoul. Shriek when you see me.
30 seconds to battle.
Primal Beast, I'm gonna go and cut the second wave. Put it right here.
I steal ahead. Hitting my stride.
The battle begins.
Path of darkness. The Marauder's road is ever long.
Oh, it's Slardar Carry. Okay.
Darkness. Hitting my stride. Athwart my path. Shriek when you see me.